I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 460th episode of the Political Spotlight. I'm your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey, and welcome to Sunday. This is Sunday, June 1st, 2025. Can you believe it's June 1st already? And exactly like I said, the weather has been complete crazy, shitful, cold and rainy and windy, like all through spring. Literally no spring, absolutely zero spring. And then we get to June, and what did they tell us yesterday? They told us yesterday that we're going to have like severe, crazy heat coming this Friday. It's going to be just crazy, impressive. No, not impressive. Yeah, impressively crazy, I guess, is where it's going to go. It's going to be insane. It's going to be 99 plus. They said heat indices over 100. It's going to be nuts. So, welcome to summer. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. So I jumped on as normal, and today was a beautiful day. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I thought yesterday was good too. I just know that there are other people that have been like, oh, it's cold. So that's that. Welcome. This is the 460th podcast, 460th episode show. It's not a podcast really anymore. Upcoming meetings. It makes me feel weird because it's not a podcast. A podcast is audio only, something you listen to. This is just a YouTube show. It's a show, I guess. Whatever. Let's call it a show. The show. Really big show. We got a really big show. All right, so tonight, this episode, wherever you're watching, if you're watching here live, thank you. Please do us the big favors and help us out. That would be beautiful. If you could, smash that like button. If you're here from Muncie, Delaware County, Marion, Grant County, Winchester, Randolph County, Newcastle, Henry County, Portland, Jay County, Anderson, Madison County, whatever. If you're here from East Central Indiana, smash that like button. If you're here from outside of East Central Indiana, smash that like button. If you're from outside of Indiana, Smash that like button. It's all the same. It's all the same. We don't make you pay for anything. Hit the subscribe button. If you're not subscribed to do so, you can do it for free. We don't charge you anything. There's no memberships here or whatever. If you want to pay us some money and give us some super money or whatever that's called, that would be great. This is how we pay our bills and do the works and stay on the air live 5 nights a week. And blah, blah, blah. So that would be great. But if you don't, you just want to watch, that's fantastic. All we ask is for that you hit the like button. So that would be fantastic. Smash that like button and share the show with everyone. You know, that would be amazing. So I have planned. So last night or the night before, or the last couple of days, I had talked to I wish she was more from the South, but she's from the West. So it's like, it's not like, you can't really say the mouth of the South. I guess it's just the Wicked Witch of the West. I talked to Dr. Catherine Callahan and was going to have her come on and we were going to do a show. However, that changed, number one, because I forgot. And number two, and the reason I forgot is I have been inundated since our last episode on Thursday, what was our show on Thursday? On Thursday, we talked about the great Randolph County Battle of the Badges. And that was a big show. And we'd been talking about Muncie firemen before that. We've been talking about some Grant County craziness in the last couple of episodes. And since we went off the air Thursday, I have been inundated with like 3 different groups of people in 3 different areas. People from Randolph County about the guy that's wanted. People in Grant County about what's going on up there. And then I guess it's just the time of year it is, but firemen are getting in trouble everywhere. There's a couple of other firemen that have been in question and whatever. And so people have been bringing that to me. Listen, this is not a crime podcast. I mean, bring me information. That's fine. And we'll decide if it's something we're going to talk about. Like, that's that. So tonight we have scheduled to talk about, it's the first of the month. Wake up, wake up, wake up. So it's the first of the month, and that means we've got a lot of meetings happening in the next week. I'm going to just go over those meeting agendas with you. We're going to talk about Grant County. That's going to be the majority of the show because I've been inundated with you people, and I love it. Continue contacting me, emailing me. I'm getting people emailing me stuff, completely anonymous people that's emailing me, that's letting me know who they are, but I don't burn sources. And they're all providing great information. We're going to go through some of that information. And then I also have to do a mea culpa. I have to give a big oops, I screwed up thing on something. And so we're going to talk about that. But I got on and Catherine was in the duck. And I'm like, what are you doing here? So she's here and we're going to bring her on here with us right now. Boom, there she is. She's like, I don't have to be here. Duck Dynasty's on. And I was like,
yes.
Ed?
Listen, Alpha, I got to watch Duck Dynasty. And you know what? Alpha, he's been up there. It's been hot down there. It's been like in the 80s for them or high 90s. I don't know. He was texting us like last weekend or something. He said it was crazy hot.
Yeah. Yes. Is racism?
What is racism politically or political asking for a friend?
I don't know what you're asking me there.
I don't know. Stumblefoot.
Is politics racism? I don't know what you're saying.
I don't know. I just know that it's been crazy all over. They caught that guy in Randolph County.
No, they didn't.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Somebody posted. Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
Oh.
They did not catch that guy in Randolph County.
What's he wanted for?
Hostage taking, human. He's a taxi. You know, some people want to say coyote. I say taxi. You know,
somebody caught somebody. Okay, I should have screenshotted. I almost screenshotted that for you earlier today because somebody got caught.
Oh, I'm sure somebody's probably bad somewhere, but it's not that guy in Randolph County. It's not. I'm trying to remember his name from memory. Marcio Dominguez, Guatemala, Honduras.
No, I think this is a different
Junior.
call. This is a
yeah, something weird happened in Colorado today too, I guess.
That was in the Jewish community, but this had to do with somebody in Indiana. All right, I'll have to search for it. But listen, I want you to know that here in Madison County, they're going to build bike trails through your yard, whether you like it or not. And they have no plan. They don't have enough money to finish the plan. And that meeting needs to be widely attended by the communities. It will be on June the 5th at 12 noon. So it's at the county commissioners. You need to be there because they're going to run these trails whether you like it or not. So they don't know who's going to maintain them. They don't know how they're going to keep them safe. The sheriff's department's not planning on hiring any extra patrol. So this should be a great cluster.
Well, go ahead.
The other thing is like here in Madison County, we got private citizens solving murder cases. And so
well, when you got a sheriff that's more concerned about being the police for the county council, that's what happens there.
This wasn't it wasn't a county issue. This was a city issue.
I just wanted to throw that in.
So, well, I would give.
You mean the county police can't solve crimes there?
It was a city.
I know. I'm giving you a hard time.
Do I need to school you on how to be a cop? Because I will.
Well, in my copping days, we were just cops wherever. We'd have badge, will travel. You know what I mean? We didn't let no jurisdiction nonsense stop us.
So,
you got a crime in Ohio? Yeah, we solved that.
Yeah, so this is all of craziness over here. So I never, they harp on that you have to go to the school and you have to take the test and you have to do all these things. And then you got someone in their 20s. Her mother was allegedly murdered, because we want to use that, right? Allegedly. And then she kept digging and digging. This happened back in October. I can't find that thing. And now look at it. I mean, I have to ask what's going on in the coroner's office that this got overlooked.
Yes, kind of a big deal. We need to do a show on that, like a whole show. We will do that at some point and talk about that, because that's a big deal.
Oh, thank you, David, for spelling my name correctly.
I did not believe it's C.
I dislike the letter C for my name as much as I dislike it when Christopher calls me Chinese.
Which one are you? Which Asian are you?
I am a Japper.
Yes.
I am Japanese Irish.
I'm a friend of hers, so I can. She's what? I walk up and say, "What's happening, Japanin?" What? Where did she go? She killed off. What the hell? She must have got really offended by that one. Because she just completely left the studio. She's out of there. Oh, she's back. Hold on. What the hell
happened? Why'd you kick me off?
I don't know. That was
you did it
on your side. Yeah, I was afraid that you were offended by all that.
Oh yeah, I'm over here in the corner crying. But hey, I want to know what happened in Grant County, because you were too hard on them, and now they're crying and licking their wounds.
Yeah, some big stuff. Before we get there, I have to say this. This is a big deal. I like to try to get this out, and I know that we tend to lose people as we go on in the evening.
He knows I am a hero.
Yeah. Yes. That's big. I want to say this real quick.
That's a good one, Jack off.
Yes, this won't take long.
I wonder why Jack off isn't Jack on.
Yeah, well, I'd like to meet this guy in person, because I've got I have a image in my mind, and I guarantee you it's spot on. I guarantee you, I know exactly what kind of person this is. What kind of I could draw his house if I knew how to draw. I could like draw. I would just like to do a whole expose on Jack. It would
Do you
be
think
great.
he has piercings?
No, I don't think piercings. No piercings.
Just
No,
tats?
definitely tattoos. He's got a tattoo or two. Jack,
So
you got a tattoo or two? You got at least 1 or 2 tattoos, I guarantee you.
You know
He
what?
does. Let me
Listen,
know.
he should have been jack off, jack on, wax on.
Yes,
wax on.
it works either way. Yeah, it's both the same.
Hey, everybody will get to see I do have a little bit of humor in my life.
Okay, so only homemade tattoos. They count. They count.
It's more
Okay.
original.
Yeah. So just briefly, I have to say this. So back last week, 27th, 28th, I don't know exactly when it was. I broke the story about the Muncie Fire Department EMS chief, Wesley Miller, who also is the SWAT medic for the Muncie Police Department. And I broke the story about his domestic violence residential entry arrest. He'd actually been arrested. There was a warrant for his arrest. He turned himself in, and the preliminary charges were residential entry, a felony, level 6 felony, and domestic battery, a level 6 felony. And we talked about all of that, and I broke the story and all of that. Then over the next couple of days, people were reaching out and saying some things. I was still getting some more information. And I had some information that was given to me the day that I broke the story, but I couldn't release it at that point. I needed to sit on it for a few days. And then Friday evening, I heard some other information. And so with the information that I had that I needed to sit on, once I heard the other information, I made a post. And the post was made I made this post. And so I heard the information. So the information that I got on Friday evening was that also, along with being the fire department EMS chief and the medic, SWAT medic for the police department, he's also been an instructor teaching an EMT class. And I was told originally when this all happened and he turned himself in, he obviously wasn't there to instruct the class. And I was originally told that the class was canceled and the students missed that night. And I now have found out that's not true. Another instructor filled in for him, so they didn't miss any class. Well, then I was told on Friday evening that he was back teaching Friday evening, and him teaching has nothing to do with his official capacity. And so he's off on paid leave, but he could still be the instructor. He still has the certifications. And, I don't think that had anything to do with it. Well, I had been told that he was making light of the situation and that he was joking about the domestic violence situation and or arrest in front of the class. And I was actually told that a student got up and left and was like all offended from this. And, basically made a comment. I'm not going to be taught by somebody like this or whatever. So I made this post along with the other information that I had been given. And that other information I had been given was that when this all happened, he called his fire chief and said, "Hey, I just want to let you know, this is what happened. I'd been arrested for this, this, and this. I'm going to resign." And the fire chief and him talked, and basically between the two of them made the determination that he was going to resign from the department. The fire chief pointed out that he is also underneath the police chief and that he should call and inform the police chief of this. And basically at the end of that conversation, he was going to resign. Then he called the police chief, and the police chief, rightly or wrongly, it is right. He is, no matter what we feel about him, right, wrong, or indifferent, he is, like everyone else, innocent until proven guilty. And the police chief told him, "You're innocent until proven guilty. Go through the process. Don't resign." And I know there are going to be people that are mad about that. I feel kind of some way about it. But at the end of the day,
what actual crime did he allegedly commit?
Residential entry, a felony, and domestic battery, a felony.
So
in the presence of a minor while he was also armed with a gun.
No one's worried that he could harm a student or a layperson, or maybe he's not stable.
I don't know. I mean, yeah. Oh, yeah. And let me tell you, the reason that a lot of people thought that this had happened was because he has a history of past drug addiction, and he has cleaned his life up. That was long ago. He's got a second chance. A lot of people had thought that he had fallen off the wagon. Okay. So I put all of this information out. Well, soon after I put that information out, the people that gave me that original information about making jokes and about the person walking out got back in touch with me and was like, no, you can put out everything. Just remove that part about the guy walking out and about the jokes, And I was like, I don't really do that, because I asked you if I could put this out there, and you told me yes, and I don't really understand what you're doing. So that gave me pause. So I did edit my post, but the post that I made, it went like this. For everyone who was running their mouths saying you don't know the full story about Wesley Miller, or wait until his side of the story is out, I want to fill those of you in on a couple of important details. When the political spotlight broke the story the other day, everything came out about it. Muncie Fire Department EMS chief and SWAT medic Wesley Miller contacted the chief of the fire department to tell him what had happened. Miller informed Burford, the fire chief, that the events that took place, and both of them discussed the possibility of Miller resigning from the fire department. MFD Chief Burford told Miller that he needed to contact the chief of the Muncie Police Department, Nathan Sloan, to fill him in on what happened and what he was planning to do. This made sense because Miller was the SWAT medic for the police department. However, when Miller contacted MPD Chief Sloan and told him the news, Chief Sloan told Miller, talked Miller out of resigning, which is kind of ridiculous to me. But at the time I was mad. Now I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. It is, let due process roll through, whatever. I don't think they should be necessarily paying him, but that's a whole nother story. However, when Miller contacted, Miller did not resign. He instead is now on paid leave pending the outcome of everything. Number 2, MFD EMS Chief Miller has been instructing new EMS and EMT recruits in Eaton for a while. They're near the end of their class. This was the other night. However, the other night when all of this happened, Miller was a no-show to the class, which meant the class was canceled that evening. However, last night, Friday, May 30th, 2025, Miller was back in front of the class of new recruits, and they were ready to learn. While in the class in front of the new recruits, Miller made jokes about the domestic violence incident that landed him, his dumb ass, in jail. I don't understand making jokes about any part of what occurred. And just a quick word to Miller and or anyone else that needs to hear this. No one is forcing you into a life of public service. If you don't want your life or your words or your actions to be looked at, questioned, and or put on display, then maybe public service isn't really for you. So there you have it. First, Miller thought the incident was such a problem that he was going to resign. That says a lot. However, he didn't resign because he was talked out of doing so by MPD Chief Nate Sloan, which raises some questions. Then to hear that Miller is making light of the situation and making jokes about it, that tells me all I need to hear. I am sure there will be plenty more information to come. Stay tuned. Well, I want to tell you, since I put this out, I have heard from people that I absolutely trust implicitly. And they said, while everything else you've reported on is factually accurate, there are a couple of things that is not factually accurate. Number 1, the class was not canceled when he wasn't there, which that's really not that big of a deal one way or another, but okay, that is there. Okay, that's good. So I'm clearing that record and clearing that up. Number 2, he did not, and I want to be very clear on this, and I'm going to change the post, but I wanted to say it on here for people to hear. And when we're wrong here, we admit that we're wrong. So I have no problem doing this. I talked to people that I absolutely implicitly trust and was told that he in no way made a joke while in front of the students instructing the students. And that was not happened, that he did not make light of this, and this did not happen. I was also told that what I was told originally, that a student got up and walked out of class and said, I'm not going to do this, that technically didn't happen that way. He had talked to another instructor earlier at some point or something like that, and he said, that instructor said, Wes is coming in here to help you guys, because their test was the next day, Saturday, and there were some issues. And that student said, well, I don't feel comfortable him coming in here. I don't want to be taught by a woman beater. And so that guy did make that statement and say it to this other instructor, but it wasn't like all badass. He like said it to Miller and walked out. And so there's some issues there. And so I just want to clarify that. And I also say, after I talk to those people that I trust, Miller actually reached out to me. And while I am at this point not going to read, as I normally do, his email to me, in his email, he was very like hat in hand. He wasn't like being an asshole. He wasn't like blah, blah, blah. He wanted to talk to me. And I got to be honest, normally when I will report on something like this and post this or whatever, those people don't ever reach out and talk to me. Even when I go out of my way to try to contact them, they blow me off and they won't talk. So the fact that he was willing to communicate with me, that kind of says a lot. Now, I'm not saying anything about the domestic battery. I'm not saying anything about the residential entry. I have the police reports. I think those happened, and it'll go through the process, and what'll happen is what'll happen. But the fact that he was willing to call me, and he told me, look, I cannot talk about the domestic violence. I cannot talk about the residential entry. I cannot talk about that case because I'm defending myself, and he's got an attorney, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. He said, I just want to talk to you about, I am taking this very serious, and I did not make light of this. I wouldn't make light of it. He said, you know, whatever's going on is going on in my life, and yada, yada, yada. He said, I want people to know, number one, I am not on drugs. I am not on drugs. Now, that's just him telling me that. I've got no way to know or true, you know, if believe him or not, but he didn't sound like he was like all zonked out, you know, on pills or whatever, or heroin or meth. So I will give him that, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything one way or another, but he did say that. And he did tell me, you know, I've done what I've done, and I'll have to answer for that. He said, I'm not mad at you for reporting on the truth, but he said, I didn't make a joke about this situation. I wouldn't have talked to them about this. And so I do give him a little bit of credit for coming out and saying that. That's generally something that people would do. So I will give him a bit of credit for that. And he told me, and we'll see what happens, that after this goes through the process, that once they get discovery and that everything's there, he said he would give me copies of this. And once he's able to talk on the matter, he will talk on it. So, I said, okay. But I mean, it's not like I'm going to follow this whole situation. I'm not like a quote unquote crime reporter or whatever. But this was just something that had to do with more the fire department as a whole and that. But I do want to say that when I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And apparently we got this wrong. And all that tells me is, like, the people that gave me that original information, I'll have to be careful with information from them in the future, which I will do. But we were wrong here. And, there's that's the deal. So I wanted to put that information out there and say that we were wrong. Now, that has nothing to do with breaking the news story or the domestic violence. All of that stuff, I completely stand on. Everything I've ever said about that, I stand on. And number two, the last thing I want to say about this, we also talked about this case as it relates to the other fireman that was arrested, Jordan Delaney, and how Miller was the John Doe in that situation. He was the person that was going between the person that was arrested and the victim. I at no point blamed Wes Miller for that. I believe that he was manipulated by Jordan Delaney, just as the victim was manipulated. I don't put that on Miller. I say that was all on Jordan Delaney. And so I want to make that clear too. But other than that, we were wrong. And that's that. So we were wrong on a very small part of it, but I wanted to clarify that. And I will be clarifying the post after the show. So that's that. That's the end of that. And we can now, unless you have any other questions or comments, we can move on to Grant County.
So I have to understand this.
Yep.
So this guy is allegedly in trouble for domestic abuse or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
And then is he saying he's innocent?
What he said to me was he feels he will be vindicated.
Oh, okay.
So
is that why he believes that he should still be teaching these classes? Because I certainly wouldn't want somebody teaching the classes
what he said,
not the ideal role model.
Yeah. What he said, he said that, he was extremely embarrassed to show up in front of these students. He didn't want what had happened to be like a topic, and that's why he didn't bring it up. He didn't feel it was the right venue to bring it up. That he was there. He has put a lot of time and effort into these students, and that for him to not, he said, I was given the option by other people to not show up, and for them to, because the next day was the very next day, like Saturday was their test. Now they're done. He's not in front of them anymore. And he was like, I just felt like we've come so far, and this happened right at the end, and I didn't want to give up on them. So there wasn't any more real instruction. It was just for him to kind of proctor the test is basically what happened. And so that's that. So I do understand what you're saying. Yeah, that point's done, So yeah.
Continuing on, or
now I will say in the part about is he innocent, not innocent, I'll tell you, we've posted the probable cause, we've posted the battery affidavit, we posted the police reports, and from the police reports, it sounds like there's a bunch of video of evidence, of things happening. So I don't know how. So
you can't get a copy. You can't get a copy of any of that.
I wouldn't be able to get a copy of that until at the trial or after. But the police report, listen, I've read good police reports and bad police reports, and I've told you I felt the police report was not very well done. That being said, if the police officer didn't stretch the truth, which we know they can do, if all of the evidence is present at trial, I don't know how he could be innocent, but because there were witnesses to it and everything else there.
Well, I have lots of questions about what people can have, what people can't have. I know there's one person who's asking for 911 reports. They're saying that, that person cannot have access to 911 reports. Is there a time when people can't have access to these things?
What?
To 911 reports.
911.
When somebody calls in, are there times where people cannot have access to that?
Well, it really just depends on the police that's running the investigation, the prosecutor, and all of that, because sometimes they will put it out. Listen, I'll tell you this. Anytime that something, whether it be a police report, a body camera, a 911 call, is part of an investigative action, when something is being investigated, or which includes up to and through the trial, they can deny that being released.
Okay.
So there are times where it benefits them. It's like body camera. Sometimes they'll never release body camera, and sometimes they release it right away. Depending on if it can help them, or they feel like it can help them, or it can make them look in a better light or whatever. So it just depends.
My whole thing is that when nothing is happening, why can't we have access? I mean, Jamie Lynn's a perfect case, right? She cannot get a copy of the 911 records when she initially called. Now, either they're lost, they've been deleted, somebody's manually deleted them. I don't know, but I don't understand why people can't have access to a 911 call.
Yeah, that's that's ludicrous.
Right? So, I mean, it's just I'm there's lots of wheels always spinning and all these. The corruption is just so deep.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's layers and layers of corruption, right? And so we just have to wonder, at what point do these people truly serve the people? I mean, look at what's going on over in Grant County.
Yeah.
I mean, they're literally firing people who they just think might be releasing information.
Well, yeah, and that's a that's a good segue into Grant County. So
How about if we fire some elected officials who are just behaving badly?
Right.
Or maybe we should just fire for incompetence. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. So everybody is aware
Money does buy silence, but you know what? There's never a secret if two people know the truth.
Well, yeah, right. Yeah.
That money only goes so far for so long.
Yeah. So,
right?
Okay. So in Grant County, the best way to say, so the best place to start is there is a commissioners meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. I am going to do my best to try to go there. No, this is Grant County.
Grant County. Okay.
So it's the first of the month. So there are commissioners meetings tomorrow morning in Randolph, Delaware, Grant, and probably lots of other counties throughout Indiana. Most of them are at 9 a.m. The Grant County one is at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. There's also the
it's the first Monday. So Alexandria will be meeting tomorrow.
Alexandria's meeting tomorrow, City Council evening.
Yes.
Muncie City Council's meeting. Winchester may or may not be meeting. They're supposed to meet, but sometimes they don't. And Newcastle's meeting of the places that we cover. Those are the areas that they are, they're meeting.
Tuesday is
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday at 10.
10. And then at 9 on Tuesday is the Randolph County Council meeting. And so that's what happens as far as that goes. So the big meeting
in Madison County need to start going to the commissioners meeting and start asking to speak, because those people are just off the chain.
Yeah.
And there needs to be some demand from the public on that one. And then on the 5th of June, there is a Parks Board secret meeting that's taking place in Madison County at 12 noon in the Commissioner's Court. So I encourage people to pay attention to that as well, because if you don't let them voluntarily run trails through your yards, they are going to take them by eminent domain.
Yeah. That's an email that we got last week, and it sounds like something.
So, Meg, you need to go to the one on Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the commissioners meeting. I put the agenda up. There's hardly anything on these agendas to talk about. I've never seen commissioners meetings that last 20 minutes. I mean, there's a lot to do in these counties. There's a lot going on, and these guys are meeting for 20 minutes. So, it's at 10 o'clock. Ms. Crooms does a good job putting it on live feed. But that commissioner's court will not allow anybody to speak.
That's just absolutely crazy.
Somebody needs to ask that commissioner why we only have a beer cooler for a morgue.
Yeah. 10 a.m., Megan.
10 a.m.
10 a.m.
They make it where you can't attend if you have a job.
Yeah, if you're a normal person.
Because they don't want people in there.
10 a.m. Wednesday, 10 a.m. Tuesday the 3rd is the first meeting. And then 10 a.m. on Tuesday the 17th is their second meeting. And then 6 p.m. on Tuesday the 10th is the council meeting. So it's the 3rd, the 10th, and the 17th for Madison County, Megan. And so, because they just say that you can't. That's the reason. I mean, it's not a very good reason, but they say that you can't.
Yeah. They don't want your input. They just want your vote.
Yeah, right. So, I'm going to attend this Grant County meeting, and I hope that a lot of people are going to be there. It sounds like a lot of people are going to be there. I feel like a lot of people are going to be there. There's a lot going on.
So this is tomorrow at 10. I'll share the video. I'll jump on at 10 and share the video if you get it.
Yeah. Going. Well, they live stream it.
Yes, but we can't give our commentary.
Stumblefoot,
Alva, all of us, we have our words that we want to share during the meeting.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to live stream. I'm going to try to jump through like we do with the meeting. So yeah, that's what's going on. But that'll be at 10 a.m. The thing is, I hope there's a lot of citizens that will attend that meeting tomorrow. And I have been being inundated. I mean, like, when I mean inundated, I mean, this is probably the most
active
that people have been. I can't think of another situation.
My phone is just as crazy as your phone.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying the Grant County people are really, really, really hungry for some change. And there have been some people that have been sharing with me emails and things like that the Grant County commissioners, I'm sure, would probably be upset with.
I have to say this.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, Grant County, please don't take offense to what I'm getting ready to say, because the same stupid crap happens in Madison County. Why do you keep recycling bad actors? Why do you allow people to move from one seat and go to another seat? And then why is it that you don't show the video clips of them talking about how much they want to serve the community, but yet fail to serve the community?
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. So,
what I'm saying at the end of the day, the voters have to take some accountability for this. Now, I'm not taking accountability for it. Right. I just want everybody to know that, because I didn't vote for Rich Wine. I didn't vote for Slick Rick. I didn't vote for Likens. So, no, I am not owning that. I'm just saying that look around. You've got to quit, buying what these people are selling. And if you're going to continue, I got some swampland I'm going to sell you.
Right. Well, I think that's happening. I think that's happening. And what literally at about 7:00 tonight, I was contacted by most of the people that have been reaching out to me with their information, and I'm just not burning them, which is as we do. But I had somebody that called me at 7:20. Oh, let me see. I had somebody that called me. They called me first at 6:29, and we talked for 21 minutes. They called me from private. They wouldn't tell me their name. They told me that they would be emailing me some files, and that they would be very big. Now they said it's a lot of files. It's things that's been going on. This person said they've been following the government in Grant County, and they've watched like every meeting for years. And then they called me back at about 7:23 and gave me some stuff. And so they sent me a big ass amount of files and said, you need to look through this. There's a lot here. They've sent me.
Are you saying that you're not prepared to speak on those emails?
No, we're going to talk about the emails. We're not going to be able to talk about these videos, because I've got videos here. The
only reason why I say this is because I'm being sarcastic.
Right.
Because this is how these county council and these commissioner meetings go.
Right.
They get the material like an hour before the meeting.
That's exactly right.
So I'm just being sarcastic.
Right.
Okay, everybody?
No, right. No, so I want you guys to listen to this. This guy sent me and said, Some of these are campaign videos that have been made by these people with someone up there who was supposed to be a member of the media. A couple of these are trimmed council and commissioner meetings. They are blatantly lying to the public and openly talking about controlling narratives. Also, if you look at what Channel 27 has posted about a slander lawsuit against him by a person, he uses law enforcement sources to reveal who she was based on the probable cause. It's on the page. I can promise you he did not use the sheriff's office, and it probably came from the Marion Police Department, who he promotes. Then these are information like Chuck and Shane talking about fixing the courthouse. Chuck doesn't use lobbyists campaigning. Chuck knows how much things cost. Chuck talking about being a mover and shaker. Commissioner meetings from March 17th, 2025. Hiring, where they have actually hired the guy from Channel 27. So that's like this. That's like what this would be like if the commissioners, that's everybody always says, well, why don't you put in to run the live streaming of the meetings? Why don't you put in to live stream the city council meetings instead of Mark Flusher?
Doing it.
Well, no. The point is, I'm not going to get paid by the city to do it, because if the city is paying me to do it, then it makes it look like I could be biased, or maybe they're saying, well, hey, you can't do,
The thing. Obviously, taxpayers aren't that savvy, because we're doing this for free without getting paid. So why are they even recommending that we do it and get paid?
Well, yeah.
And then we would have to censor and curtail what we say.
Well, I mean, I guess you wouldn't have to, but I'm sure they would. The point is, this person is saying there is a source up there that's now, they're different than what I call myself, because I guess Channel 27 refers to themselves as a journalist, as a news source. That being said, to me, they should be even less biased. They should be right down the facts. Now, if they are now being paid by Chuck and Shane, the worry here is that this person is now on the books for Chuck and Shane, and they're going to be doing all these things.
Yeah,
I don't know necessarily that it's a conflict of interest. I just think that people need to now take what this person says with a grain of salt, because now this person, if he's speaking out against another elected official or speaking out against an opponent of this person, Shane and Chuck, what's going to happen? Will he do that truthfully? Will he not do that truthfully? So I am going to have to take the next couple of days to look through all of these videos and find out that there's been other videos they've cut stuff out of. But I want to show you something that I'm getting, because
I just want this comment from Paula. I'm trying to get you off track here, but my ADHD is kicking in tonight. I agree with Catherine. I'd fire all government officials, because to me, they are acting like they are incompetent to their jobs. Now, here's the problem. We can't fire elected officials unless they molest somebody or kill somebody.
Well, if they're convicted of a felony is what they need to be.
Right? Here's what I suggest we do, Paula. I suggest, because we are in such financial strains in this entire state, is we just withdraw all pay from elected officials and truly have them serve the people. I think once we move to that, I think people will just resign. And so therefore we can have some caucuses. I would certainly do it for free if I had to. So, but that's the thing. I'm just saying that. But we would see what would happen. I'd be happy if they'd let me podcast from my office, like if I was caucused in, I'll do it for free.
That's amazing.
Let's just backdoor them.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. Okay, so after last week's couple of shows, I was contacted by a couple of different people, various different people, far and wide, that said that Shane Middlesworth, the president of the commissioners, He is Shane Middlesworth is the.
Now, is he the one that works for First Merchants and does bank loans, or is he the red gold tomato guy?
I don't know. I don't know either one of them that well. The only one I know is the guy that deals with the shit peddler.
Okay, that's Chuck.
That's Chuck Poling. So Chuck Poling's the shit peddler. He's District 2.
Then the other guy, one of the guys, he is a tomato farmer and supplies a lot of the tomatoes to Red Gold. Then the other one works for First Merchants, and he's a bank loan officer.
I don't know which one. So Shane Middlesworth is the shorter. He's kind of the brains of the operation.
He's the tomato guy.
Okay. He's from District 1. And then Ron Stewart is from District 3. Ron Stewart is the holdover from the other commissioners. So in 2024, there were 2 commissioners up for an election, and Shane and Chuck had both been on the Grant County Council, and they both then ran for commissioner. And Ron's the odd man out, but he doesn't use his voice to speak against them. He just sits there and does nothing, which is just as bad. But after our last,
Ron Stewart is a business banking relationship manager for First Merchants. And hey, listen, if you don't want me to talk about your day job, then you need to do your job for the people.
I have no problem talking about their day job.
Representing us. So I just want you to know that.
Yeah. Well, so after the last couple of weeks of what's happened in Grant County, Shane Middlesworth put out, and so far, I don't know if he's put this out in email. I've got people sending me emails all over the place, so I'm looking for it. But I know that he put out the directive by mouth stating if any government employee talked to the Political Spotlight or the Tribune, whatever their newspaper is. Now, funny enough, he didn't say
they couldn't talk to me.
Channel 27. He didn't say anything about Channel 27 because that guy is on the payroll. But he said that the newspaper, whatever the newspaper is up there, the Tribune something, or the Political Spotlight, that they would be fired. Okay. So that's.
So have they made good on that? Have they fired somebody?
Well, they fired lots of people. I don't know who they fired, if they've talked to us or not, but they fired lots of people. Someone was just fired. Their HR director was just fired Friday.
So you've had somebody fired since the time we aired that show until now.
Yeah, I don't know that it was about the show. I think it was about something else that we will get into here in a minute. But the bottom line is there are people that are doing things. And here's the thing. They have been, even before we got involved, for the last 5 months, they have been cutting people down and now I want to say this. When the mayor comes into a city, when new commissioners come in, there is a quote unquote to the victor go the spoils amount of jobs. Like the mayor gets to appoint the police chief, the fire chief, the HR director, and the board of works people. And, there's a lot of appointments they get to make. And the commissioners in the county are the same way. And maybe they just didn't, replace all of those people right at first. I don't know. But to let them stay on for a while and then to find out, well, they don't like us necessarily, or they're doing something we don't like just because they don't like how we're talking to people. We're shit canning these people. That's a wrong way to do it. And so I'm going to try to find out if this is in email form, but I have heard it from so many people that I know that this is a factual statement. But I want to show you some of these things that how these things are going back and forth, because now it's not just the commissioners. Like Chuck Poling's wife is involved, and they are systematically trying to, insulate themselves with their sycophants. And I have to say, if there is somebody out there that gets fired, that's the reason we're going to protect everybody, because I don't want anyone to get fired. Because, we can say, well, look, if you get fired, just file a lawsuit and fight this, and we'll be there. But look, that's fine. But fighting a 2.5-3 year lawsuit doesn't put food on the table. It doesn't pay the bills. So I understand.
But if you want to start one, I highly encourage anybody to use Brad Wilson and Shannon Melton on the south side of Indianapolis. They're amazing and they're wonderful. That's all I'm saying.
If someone gets fired, get a hold of us. If you're fired for something that you do not believe was, Indiana's an at-will state. But if your constitutional rights were violated, if you feel that you were fired for speaking out in a meeting or for, something to that effect, or speaking out to the press or whatever, if you feel that your constitutional rights were violated, get a hold of us. We will help you with attorney if that's something you're interested in. But, we'll try to cover you guys by not letting that happen. That being said, everything that I'm getting ready to show you has been okayed for me to show on the screen. There is one of these emails where there are blacked out names. That's not how it was sent to me. The names that I have blacked out are names that I am blacking out, and it's for the protection of the people in the email who may or may not be employees or connected to that. So that's what's going on here. So I'm going to show you this and let you see just how crazy some of this is. Okay. I don't know what happened there. All right. So let's go to the top here. Okay. So first things first, this is an email from Chuck Polling to this person called Tara Street on Thursday, December 5th, 2024. So what's interesting about this is Chuck has been elected. Chuck has been elected, but
he hadn't taken a seat yet.
He had not taken the seat yet.
I'm a quick study. So what role does Tara have?
So Tara works from what I gather in this email, works in the health department. Okay. And now keep in mind, Chuck is someone that works in with sewer, with toilets, plumbing. And so they deal with the health department quite frequently. Listen to this. So he says, Tara, I know I can come off a little rough, but I am passionate about this. Here are two of the rules that apply because you are the office manager. This ultimately falls on you. General sewage disposal requirements. No person shall throw, run, drain, seep, or otherwise dispose into any of the surface waters or groundwaters of this state, or cause, permit, or suffer to be thrown, run, drained, allowed to seep, or otherwise dispose into such waters any organic or inorganic matter from a dwelling or residence on-site sewage system that would cause or continue to a health hazard or water pollution. The design, construction, installation, location, maintenance, and operation of residential on-site sewage system shall comply with the provisions of this rule. A person shall not institute, permit, or maintain any conditions that may transmit, generate, or promote disease. A health officer, upon hearing of the existence of such unlawful conditions within their officer's jurisdiction, shall order the abatement of those conditions. The order must be in writing if demanded, specify the conditions that may transmit disease, and name the shortest reasonable time for abatement. If a person refuses or neglects to obey an order issued under this section, the attorney representing the county of the health jurisdiction where the offense occurred shall, upon receiving the information from the health officer, institute proceedings in the court for enforcement. An order may be enforced by injunction if the action concerning public health is a criminal offense. A law enforcement authority with jurisdiction over the place where the offense occurred shall be notified. If the situation does not promote, generate, transmit disease, the health department does not have jurisdiction. This is documented, and that's just something. Now, I don't know what he's talking about there, but this is the first email of the thread. All right, this was on December 5th. That date's going to come back in a minute. Remember that.
So I have a question then.
Okay.
So I can't go impersonate somebody that I'm not.
Okay.
So how is he writing this as a commissioner?
He signed this as Chuck Polling, owner-operator, Chuck Sewer and Drain Plumbing Contractor, and the email came from his official business. So,
and that's okay. So
there's nothing wrong with the email.
Okay, so then he needs to go to hell because you're not coming to this person as a supervisor. What's the purpose of him writing this to her?
Well, okay, so let's continue on. I think that'll become obvious here in a minute. So then the next email is from Tara to Mike Metler and David Hopper. Now, those apparently are people, well, we'll just read on. Clarity needed. Good evening. We have a county commissioner as well as a health board member. Now, keep in mind, the county commissioner is Chuck Polling, and the health board member is his wife, Brandy Polling, so they're related.
Well, it is now because it's February 7th.
Yeah, right. And he appointed her. So it's like, wait a minute, that's a question. Who are of the belief that Indiana code regarding on-site septic systems is just a recommendation, and that because Indiana is a home rule state, the health department are not required to adhere to said code. Therefore, Grant County can regulate these systems however they like. Is this correct? So now he's commissioner, and he's talking to this woman, and their interactions are as commissioner telling a county employee what she should and shouldn't do, and that he doesn't like what she does because it affects his day job. And so I got some problems there. Now, you can't tell that by what I've read, but you'll find that out as we go along.
So why isn't he taking this? Is she the health administrator?
She is the health administrator, yes.
Okay, so she is the health administrator. Okay.
So she's now writing to, well, you'll see who she's writing to here in a minute. Okay. So this just they can't regulate these. Is this correct? Could you please provide me with clarity on the matter? Okay. This is February 7th at 10:59. Okay. Now, a couple days later, she's waiting to hear back. A couple days later, on February 10th at 10:29, she sends an email to Justin Sayoff, and that's the HR director, David Glickfield, who is an attorney for the county in some aspect, and Brenda Woods, who also is somehow employed with the health department. And Tara says, hostile work environment. Now, listen to this. February 7th, 2025, at approximately 9:15. What time was this? This was February 7th at almost 11. So this was after whatever she's getting ready to write us about. Okay, so she writes, February 7th, 2025, at approximately 9:15 a.m., I was working on payroll. I needed clarity about FMLA for an employee, and went upstairs to ask Justin Sayoff, or blank, my questions. As I stepped out of the 6th floor stairwell, I noticed blank works in the blank standing in the doorway of the commissioner's HR office entrance with her husband, I believe, and they were in a conversation with Chuck Polling, commissioner. Chuck turned and saw me saying, you're the manager and you need to get your people under control. He began to angrily berate me about blank phoning Brandy Polling, which is Chuck's wife, earlier in the morning. He was berating her about that, me not making someone do his job, someone not knowing what he's doing, and ranting that blank better not go near the property, stating there was no reason for him to be there. I tried several times to explain to Chuck that we had received a complaint earlier in the morning, that I requested blank call Brandy as she could provide clarity, that I asked blank to go take a look at the creek. He continued to interrupt me and gesture, poking his forefinger very closely to my chest. No actual contact, though. Gritting his teeth and leaning in closer than what is normal for conversation distance. I do not recall everything Chuck said, as he felt very aggressive and it was extremely unnerving. I remember him saying, I've had trouble with the health department for more than 35 years. Now, as commissioner, he's talking about his private day job. I've had trouble with the health department for more than 35 years. And this is why we're getting rid of you and bringing Brandy back, which is his wife, to run the health department. And I'm telling you now, you better keep blank away from that property. At this point, Shane Middlesworth, another commissioner, came down the hall from the restroom or elevator area, asking what was going on. I replied, I'm just trying to get some help with an FMLA question, at which time Chuck turned back to the couple who were still standing there and started talking to them. I stepped around to them and went into the office. Justin was at his office with Blank. Now, that's the HR director. So I stood in the small waiting area. A few minutes passed as Blank left Justin's office. I started to enter, and Chuck angrily approached me again with a barrage saying, I'm tired of this shit. You're the manager down there, and you better start managing your people. And we're going to replace the entire board, and then we're getting you out of here, and my wife is going to come in there and run that place like it ought to be run. And I've been doing this for over 35 years. All the while jabbing his finger angrily at my chest. Stepping back, I told him to please stop poking at my chest, not actually making contact, but very close to my body, and with his face uncomfortably close to mine. He stepped forward and continued berating me with his finger poking and speaking through gritted teeth. So I again said, without please, and louder and firmer without stepping back, stop poking your finger at my chest. I kept attempting to speak and explain the situation, but was not able to say more than a few words before he would start talking over me. Talking over me. Shane Middlesworth, commissioner, approached and said something I didn't hear, at which time Chuck turned to walk away, then abruptly spun back around and yelled at me to get out of his office. I said something along the lines of just needing help from HR as he walked away, so I turned and entered Justin's office. My memory of the next few minutes is somewhat vague, as I was rattled and overwhelmed with the events. The sense of disbelief, embarrassment, and humiliation left me stunned. I simply couldn't think clearly. I asked my FMLA question and hurried back to my office. My hands and heart were trembling. Blank and Justin were present for the duration of the interaction. I am not sure when Blank actually left, and I don't know where Shane was most of the time. Shane came to my office later in the morning asking if we could talk, stating he wanted to hear my side. During our conversation, he kept going back to Blank and the problems Chuck has with the way Blank does his job. I answered his questions about Blank, but kept asking how that was relevant to Chuck's actions towards me. I left the meeting requesting a heads up to get my perf in order if I was going to be fired. I cannot explain why this event left me. I cannot explain why this event left me shaken late into the evening Friday and struggling for sleep. I did not feel physically at risk, but I believe the knowledge that Chuck previously assaulted with a headbutt to the nose, breaking the nose, which I know, an employee of the health department in a fit of anger was echoing in the back of my mind. Now, keep in mind, when this man is yelling at this woman, in her mind, she's remembering back to an event where earlier this same man headbutted another employee of the health department, got arrested for it, and was charged with felonies for it. This dude was charged with felonies. Convicted.
Chuck Poling was?
Yeah. And the only way he's able to serve currently is because that all got expunged back some time ago.
So let me ask a couple things. First of all, I wish they would have brought this to light sooner, because I'm sure there's cameras in that county.
It was brought. Listen, so number one.
But did anybody get the films of his behavior?
Oh, I don't even know if they. I don't know if they got video in there. I need to ask that of
right.
some people,
I mean, it's probably already been scrubbed But if it hasn't, somebody needs to record request this behavior. And if there's cameras where they were at.
Yeah.
The other thing is what qualifications does his wife have? Is she does she have a master's?
Well, I'm sure she's played around in the shit like him, just like he has,
I mean, what makes her that she can just step in there and take over this role?
Well, yeah, or makes him think that, either one, yeah.
And here's the thing. This is what happens when people cannot separate their professional life with how they're supposed to serve. Right?
Yeah.
And this is where this becomes a problem. He needs to leave his shit literally at home when he comes in to serve the people.
Yes. Yeah, I was reading the comments. Yes.
So I'm just saying that and here's the thing, Chuck Polling, if you're watching, this is why government is a hot mess. You believe that nepotism and you should just shove your wife in there. And here's the thing. I'm going to tell you, if your wife is dumb enough to actually do this scheme with you, then I really hope that you guys lose your business, your face, and everything else, because right here, I bet you $1 million that this guy has screwed up work somewhere, and he has bullied and he has intimidated these people. And here's the thing, he's got them over a barrel because they have to have their septic system working, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not like these people are a dime a dozen, I mean, so I can't imagine how he treats his customers. And for you people who are watching from Grant County, okay, listen to me carefully. You guys need to turn your recorders on and start filming and streaming these yourselves, because we already know they cut out clips of this, okay? I cannot express this to you enough. This man is unstable.
Yeah. Listen, I would never have another conversation.
Push the envelope. Listen, there's a reason why the two other gentlemen on that commissioners stood down. They already know his wrath. This guy is a loose cannon. You go in there, you start challenge him, you start asking him questions, you start asking for answers. And I'm telling you right now, we're all going to get to see on public display. And here's the thing, Chuck Polling, if you're watching, and I know you are, if you are dumb enough to do this on camera, then you get what you deserve.
Yeah. That's the thing, Jack. Jack said it right there. Exactly. Everybody that interacts with this man, I don't care if you're a citizen, I don't care if you're a health department employee, I don't care if you're a cop, I don't care if you're the maintenance man, I don't care if you're in the clerk's office, the recorder's office, or wherever. If you're an employee of the county and you're going to have a conversation with any of the commissioners, you need to turn your recorder on your phone. We all have recorders, audio recorder, video recorder, put in your pocket. Indiana is a one-party consent state. So as long as you're part of the conversation, you are legally allowed to record, and you do not have to tell them.
And here's the thing. This is how we caught that the commissioners and the council here in Madison County were scrubbing and editing their official tapes, because people were like, no, they did say that. And people were pulling my films or pulling Mrs. Crooms, and they're like, here it is. So they've stopped doing it because they know all of us have video, and we can show that they're editing the videos, which I don't think that's legal. Is it, Chris? You can't just go edit government officials and take things out of there.
No.
So people in Grant County, if you're watching, you need to listen. If there's 5 of you that get on Facebook Live tomorrow and you're putting that stuff up, good for you. Because that's what's going on in Madison County right now. I don't know about you, Chris, but in Madison County, we have about 3 or 4 people now who are religiously going to the meetings and putting this on Facebook Live. That is a great thing. You know what it's like for those people to look out into that audience, even if there's only 6 of us in there and 50% of us have a Facebook Live going.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
They're a little more behaved now. Never
vocal, always email if you ain't going to record. Yeah. Yeah, right. That's the thing. If If you don't want to record, if you don't have your recorder on you, you can't do it, you don't have your phone, you're too scared to do that, don't go up and talk to these people face to face. Put it in an email. If you're going to, there's only two ways for you to ever talk to these people ever again: recording or via email. I'm going to tell you, I've been doing this for 7 years as a broadcaster, doing this 30 some years in politics. And I'm telling you, I still screw up from time to time thinking, oh, I'm just going to run in here and drop off this document real quick. Yeah. I'm going to be in and out. No one will ever know. I know I'm not going to see anybody. And I'm like, I don't need, I have it. I have it in my hand. And I'm like, oh, I don't need it. I'm just going to leave it here. And I'll walk in there and the stupidest thing happens and I kick myself because I'm not recording. I've got to the point where I'm like, screw it. I'm always going to take it in. And even if you're in there for 10 seconds, if you record nothing, then so be it.
And then just delete it. But you should walk in there with your recorder going.
Yeah.
And then just delete it if you don't need it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, okay, so this gets crazier because we're not even remotely close.
This is nuts.
Yeah. This is crazy. So when this lady says, I can't explain why this event left me shaken, well, yeah, you can. You've seen this dude headbutt somebody before and get arrested for it.
Yeah, and now you're traumatized.
Now he's doing this to you. It's like PTSD. Okay, so this guy, this person goes on and says, Chuck has twice now, and in front of witnesses, and keep in mind, the witnesses are the people that I've blacked out here. And so, I'm not for censorship, but I am going to protect somebody's job. You know what I mean? That's just the way it is. So that's the reason I'm, I don't like censorship, but I will protect sources and people who, don't deserve to be screwed with. Chuck has now, twice now, and in front of witnesses, stated that he plans to appoint health board members who will remove me from my job in order to put his wife in charge of the health department. Am I a target? During a previous documented verbal assault, again in front of witnesses, Chuck asserted that he would have blank removed and have Brandy put in charge of the environmental division. Is blank a target? All of this all follows the documented December 5th, 2024 episode. Now, remember this. This all follows another episode from December 5th. Chuck stopped by our office today. Shane was with him. So they were both there. They were both commissioners-elect, but they were not commissioners yet. So they had no power. Chuck was just the shit guy, and Shane's his short little buddy. To chastise me for allowing one guy to leach sewage into a river while I am trying to stop another guy from selling his house. I told him that I was talking with you to address both situations, and he, in a quite hostile and aggressive manner with spit flying, told me that he has talked to you too, and this is why we are going to bring Brandy back and run the health department. And I need to get blank under control. And then I can't even tell you what he said next, but he carried on for a bit and they left. Now that was December 5th. Okay. Let's go up here and look. Oh, look, that's the same day that Chuck sent this. So, and he sent this at 2:24. So I'm saying that he probably did this craziness down here to her, in the morning or sometime. And then that's when he got back and said, I know I can come off a little gruff, but I am passionate about this. So that's what caused this email. And he's trying to tell her what to do. And that's what started all of that off. Okay. So now we get down here to the end of this. Blank was present during this confrontation and as documented as well. I am wondering what to do with this. I now feel the need to make an official record of feeling like my workplace is becoming a hostile environment. Your guidance would be appreciated. Respectfully, the administrator of the health department. Okay, now I want you to come up here and look at who this email got sent to. This email was sent on Monday, February 10th at 10:29 a.m. to the HR director, to an attorney for the county, and to another person from the health department. Okay. Keep that in mind. Keep David Glickfield in mind. 10/29 on February 10th. Okay. So now we come down here and nothing to do with that email. Or does it? Because look when he sends it. 1 minute later, who knows if it does or not, but he's also copying David Glickfield and Brenda Woods, and his subject is health department. Dr. Woods, I have some concerns I would like to discuss with you. The first is a plugged tile on East 200 North. There's a county tile that runs behind several properties. Roots have overtaken this tile in one section, which is causing the neighboring properties to flood. Jeff has told the property owner at 3440 East 200 North, Marion, that they have to update their septic system due to this. This is incorrect and not the proper steps. The county tile needs to be fixed. Second, let the ground dry up and then revisit the site to see if the septic system is in failure. One of these neighbors came in to complain about the black water from my company. Listen to this. One of these neighbors came in to complain about the black water from my company attempting to jet the tile open. Jeff had already been updated on what was happening, but still took all of the office staff over to look at the black water. Tara told me they have to go out when they receive a complaint. That is also incorrect. The first step is to have them fill out and sign a complaint form. The signed complaint form gives the health department the jurisdiction to investigate the complaint. When there is black water, you must first determine that it is sewage by conducting a water test. If the test comes back with E. coli, then you do a dye test to determine who the contributor is. We are also sending all three environmentalists out to every site. While I understand the need to train everyone, I do not see the value in shutting down the environmental division so that all three can go to every complaint, inspection, soil test, meeting. Jeff should be delegating each person to do specific tasks throughout the day, while also keeping someone in the office for the general public's needs. We have had this issue or something quite similar quite a few times over the past several months, and the proper procedures are not being followed. As you're aware, my wife worked in the environmental division. She was trained for 10 months and on her own for a couple of years before they hired someone. You can ask Mr. Glickfield about how well her office ran when she was there. Now we have 3 environmentalists, one more than we have ever had, and less is getting done because they all go out to every site. The last issue brought to my attention is the food division. Dean is in need of another person, and I believe the council okayed funds for the position. Why has this position not been advertised? I strongly encourage you to meet with the heads of each department without Tara present. I am not sure why you have Tara as the administrator, but she should be the head of vital records, and that's it. We pay the heads of each department to run their departments. Tara does not know enough about each division to oversee them. There are a lot more issues that need to be addressed. However, I have been under the weather for a few days, and it will probably be a few more before I can meet with you. Please check your schedule and talk with Mr. Glickfield about a time and a day that would work for you. Both. Let me know when we can meet. Respectfully, the shit man. Okay? So, to this I have to say, this guy's obviously got a problem with his Tara for some reason. And I don't know what the deal is. But also, it's like, as commissioner, he shouldn't be this involved with the health department. This sounds solely about getting his wife a job back here or whatever. And it's so weird. Like, let them run. You know, I don't understand. I don't know what the deal is. And it seems like he's so overly connected and concerned with this because his day job is connected to the health department in a way. You know, he needs them, and he doesn't like, you know, that he actually at one point had a protective order in place and couldn't go to the health department. So he had to send his employees in to get shit that they needed and to deal with stuff they needed because he couldn't go there.
Well, she needs to do another protective order.
Yeah, right. That's
honestly.
Yeah, right.
I mean, this man's out of control.
Yeah. Okay, so the same day, February 10th at 11:18, we now see Mike Metter, Director of Environmental Public Health Division, this is like the big guy in Indy, he finally responds to Tara, who sent him a message back on the 7th after their big blow up. And he says, Tara, can't believe they really believe that. So he's now like giving shit to those commissioners. You know, she's up here saying like, I don't think they know what they're doing. I need clarity. You know, we have commissioners as well as health board member who are of the belief that Indiana code relating on-site septic set is just a recommendation, and that because Indiana is a home rule state, that the health department's not required to adhere to said code. Therefore, Grant County can regulate the system however they like. Is that correct? Could you please provide a matter of clarity? So he then responds to her, and he's like, I can't believe they believe that. It is true that Indiana is a home rule state, but that is only if the state statute doesn't say something different. In this case, in the case of on-site sewage system, rules, state law is quite clear that local health departments cannot vary from the rules. Additionally, in a bill that just passed out of the House and has moved over to the Senate, it states that if a LHD doesn't follow the state OSS rules, the local health department could lose HFI funding. Hope this provides some clarity. Let me know if you have any questions. Okay, so now I guarantee you old Chucky doesn't like this. Okay, so then on February 10th, because of Chuck's letter where Chuck sent the thing to Brenda responds to Tara and says, I couldn't do this role without you. Believe that. You do an incredible job. So now we see who Brenda Woods is. Brenda Woods is Dr. Brenda Woods, the health officer of the county. And so we've got this shit guy talking to the doctor, telling her how she needs to be running shit. And it's like, you know, stay in your lane. So Tara then sends an email to Shane, forward clarity needed, sends him what the guy from Indy said, and said, good afternoon, Commissioner Middlesworth. You had asked me some questions about the way the health department enforces the rules governing on-site septic systems in Grant County, and I felt like you weren't confident in my response. Therefore, I contacted 2 IDOH representatives with your questions. See below. You can see the response from Mike Metler, director of the IDOH Environmental Public Health Division below. I've attached a copy of the county ordinance and Rule 410 IAC 6.8.3 for you to look through. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, or if you prefer, I'm sure Mr. Metler will be happy to clear up any confusion. As always, let me know if you have any questions and or concerns. So she sends that to Shane. Okay, that was February 10th at 3:28. February 12th, now look, it says from Chuck Polling. Keep that in mind. And it's referenced the clarity needed to Shane Middlesworth, Mike Metler, Tara Street, David Glickfield, and Brenda. So he sends it to his other commissioner buddy, to the guy in Indy, to Tara, who he doesn't like, to the county attorney, and to the doctor, the health officer. Good afternoon. In response to the email from Tara Street, Chuck, Commissioner Polling, and I, Grant County Health Board member. Wait a minute. Is this guy referring to himself? I don't understand what's happening. From Chuck Polling, it says, good afternoon. What's going on here? Let's see what's going on here. Oh, look, this is respectfully Brandy Polling. So she is sending an email back to these people from her husband's email, and she's now in the mix for whatever reason.
Is that even legal?
I mean, I don't know that it's illegal, but it's ridiculous.
No,
it's
you're acting on behalf of a commissioner. You're not on the payroll.
It's very strange. So now that we know that Chuck's email, but she's saying, good afternoon, in response to the email from Miss Street, Chuck, Commissioner Polling, and I, Grant County Health Board member, do not believe that we do not have to adhere to the OSS rule. If anything, I'm a stickler on the septic rule because of my previous knowledge as an environmentalist. We were questioning the procedures of handling septic sewage complaints. The Grant County Health Department has no jurisdiction to tell homeowners they have to update their septic system without following the proper steps. 1, receive the complaint form in writing and signed by the complainant. Step 2, conduct an investigation. 3, collect water sample to determine if the dirty water is contaminated. 4, water test comes back positive for E. coli. 5, dye test to determine who the contributor is. Positive dye test, draft a letter outlining the issues and time frame to correct it. No compliance, compliance case closed. Contact lawyer, start court case. The only thing we have said about the State Department of Health is that they do not run the county health department. They are therefore advisory only, and the final say is with the county health department. I will give you just one example of what we're up against. On several occasions last year, the environmental division told homeowners they had old systems and had to update them. We conducted septic inspections on one of these homes. A gentleman had bought the house to remodel and sell. When he listed the home for sale, we were contacted by the buyer for a septic inspection. We were honest about what we found with them, and Jeff Couch, head environmentalist. When the gentleman realized he only had one absorption trench, he told Jeff he would replace the septic system because he didn't feel right about selling it like that. Jeff told him he had to cap the septic tank off and pump the hall for the entire winter until the new system could be installed. There was no septic on the ground, no issues with the plumbing in the home, and no direct discharge into the waterway. Bottom line, there was no health hazard and no jurisdiction for Jeff to tell him that. My husband is one of 3 county commissioners for Grant County and the owner of Chuck's Sewer and Drain Cleaning. He has been in business for 39 years, and he has never had a system fail or been found to be doing anything wrong. I worked for Grant County Health Department for 8 years and have worked for this company for 8. I have been IOWPA certified since 2009. We are productive members of our community and strive to help our neighbors. Miss Street is not IOWPA certified, has not worked in the environmental division, nor has she been in the septic business for almost 40 years. I am not sure why she wrote this email or if she misunderstood the question she was asked. However, she is correct in her belief that we do not believe we have to follow OSS rule. Respectfully, my husband's keeper. Okay, so very, very strange there.
Okay, I got some things to say.
Yeah.
Is that coming from a government email?
No. It's again coming from let me make sure. Just let me make sure. Let me make sure.
Because if that's coming from Chuck Polling's government email, there's some big issues here. There's some confidentiality because now this woman has access to all kinds of other official business that really should only pertain to the commissioner.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like a big, like, if she has written this under his government email, it means this man does not have a secure email. She is not the commissioner. She should not have anything or have access to anything on his emails, period. I don't care who she is. She was not the elected official. She was a shutter trap, and somebody, quite honestly, needs to hold her to task. And the fact that she's representing her business, that's exactly who I would be going after, is the business. Not Chuck Polling commissioner, but the fact that she is using his title as an elected official and portraying it as her own.
Yeah, no, it's coming from Chuck Sewer Drain 123 at yahoo.com.
Okay, so she's pretty much just drug in his business into this whole thing. And here's the thing. I just looked. There's conflicts of interest on file for Chuck, and they're poorly done. The conflict of interest.
Sure.
Okay, all it says is I might be hired as a plumber. Okay,
yeah.
Well, then you need to shut your trap about this, because this is a conflict of interest, Chuck. You are bullying and browbeating. And here's what I'd be worried about. If I was in Grant County, I would be worried that he would sabotage your tank just so he could get business. I mean, who in their right mind is going to agree with his wife's appointment? It has to be more than just Chuck. The commissioners appoint this person. The commissioners are responsible for appointing the health administrator.
Yeah.
So if all these three actually allow her to go in that position, knowing the potential dangers that she could say, hey, your septic system is bad, but guess what? Here's our card.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
This is a big problem. And it's just like I have a big problem with funeral directors being elected coroners.
Sure. Yeah.
It's the same concept.
Well, you know, that you know what's funny about that is down in Henry County, our sheriff, or not my sheriff, but their sheriff, I don't know why I said that. That was horrible. Their sheriff in Henry County, Sproles, whose family owns a Sproles funeral home, oftentimes fights the coroner to deliver death notifications. There is nobody in the world of law enforcement that likes to give death notifications. I can tell you how many death notifications I've given, and they are absolutely horrible.
They are.
And it sucks. It's not good any way around.
And that's the whole thing.
He literally fights people to do it. And I've always said it's because he's sliding his card that way.
Absolutely, he is. And that's the same thing that's going on here in Madison County. And I'm telling you, and that's what I'm telling you, all the funeral directors here in Madison County have said, we have never talked to the coroner more. In the last 30 years, we have hardly ever heard from the coroner's office. So if you worked in a funeral home and you worked under my umbrella when I was the chief deputy, it was pretty clear. Don't you even say you work for a funeral home. If I find out that you did, you are done, because it's an even playing field. Here's your list of funeral directors. These are your options you have. Generally, people will pick the one that is closest to their home. That's about the only advice you can give.
Yeah, but I mean, most people already know where they're going to go or whatever.
Exactly. But this whole thing, this is a whole, and the fact that she is pushing her husband's name, she shouldn't even be the health department now. She should be removed from the board at the health department.
Oh, no question.
This is now, these people are ethically and morally bankrupt.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me be clear, completely bankrupt.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and okay, so we're almost done here with these emails. So now going back down the line, the last thing that got sent, Brandy sent that out on February 12th. Okay. So life happens, work happens. Tara then sends an email on Friday, February 21st, 2025 at 3:16 p.m. to Chuck, to Shane, to Mike, to David, to Brenda, to the HR director, to Ron Stewart, to Chuck, to Brandy. Okay, now you notice she's making Chuck in here a couple of times. It's because she's emailing his business and his commissioner, which I think is funny.
So now she has shown everybody the cards.
Yeah.
This is coming on behalf of their people.
Wait, no, Tara's sending this now.
Oh, Tara's sending it?
Tara's sending this back to them.
But
and
when she is she doing a reply all and it's just automatically going?
I don't know.
They originated it from
No. It looks like Tara has sent it to everyone. I think it's funny what she's doing because she's sending it to Chuck as a commissioner, and she's also sending it to Chuck as the business because they've been responding and messaging that.
But here's the thing: Chuck made this messy. Brandy made this messy.
Yeah.
They intertwine the two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're the ones that have mixed all this.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I love it. I love what Tara's done here. And I don't even know who Tara is, you know?
Yeah.
That's what's crazy about this.
And just so people know, I did go back and I looked up while we've been on here. Brandy Poling doesn't have any healthcare licenses or anything like that. So I'm like quickly trying to search, like, what does this woman have other than working in a cesspool?
Yeah, right.
I mean, that's about her only experience. She knows how to play in a cesspool.
Yeah, right. And the cesspool is called Grant County government.
Yes.
So Tara says, good afternoon. Out of respect for the Grant County Health Department, environmental staff, and the integrity of their work for Grant County, I feel an obligation to provide the following response. Policy and procedure for handling complaints that are established internally within each local health department. Grant County Health Department has written policy in place for handling complaints. both residential and sewage. Our staff know and exercise these policies uniformly when addressing complaints. When a repair site presents the need to use the best judgment, the health department will, if any doubt exists, consult with our IDOH field rep, currently Joe Ratzgotsky, to exhaust all means in identification of what best judgment is for each specific repair site. This process is not allowing the state to tell GCHD what to do, as was previously mentioned, nor does it demonstrate incompetence on the part of our staff. Rather, this is seeking guidance from someone in the field who has the experience and unbiased expertise valued and respected enough to hold a position at the state government level. Best judgment is a professional opinion based on the facts presented. Commissioner Polling and board member Polling have a different professional opinion does not establish that the best judgment of GCHD is wrong. I love this woman. I don't know who she is, but this is genius. I love it. And she's calling them out professionally, and she's on it. This is amazing. Out of respect for myself and my role as administrator of the health department, I feel the need to make the following points. Commissioner Polling, also not IOWPA certified, states in the video provided at the 35-minute, 35-second mark, we run our own health department. Every county, the state is advisory. We have to make our own calls in every county. That's the law. When you go back and look, even Alice will tell you that. You know when we had to go against when we had to go against her. Commissioner Polling left out a disclaimer in the statement, which clarifies that we are indeed required to follow the state OSS rule. It is my belief this leads listeners who are not also IOWPA certified to believe Grant County Health Department can make their own calls. I have never claimed to be IOWPA certified, nor have I professed to have an OSS experience. The fact that I do not have the skills to officially design or install a septic system does not negate my competence as the administrator of the health department. I contacted Mike Metler, IDOH Environmental Public Health Division Director, respectfully omitting names or identifying individuals in an act of professionalism because Commissioner Middlesworth had inquired as to how and or why we make certain decisions, and I felt he doubted my response regarding the OSS rule. Knowing that Commissioner Middlesworth views all county meetings drove me to simply attempt to gain and provide clarity. I was fulfilling the responsibilities of as my administrator at the health department. Lastly, I would like to address something that causes me concern with this chain of emails. The initial communication was an email conversation I began with Mike Metler that was forwarded to Commissioner Middlesworth. According to Mr. Middlesworth, the email was then shared with Commissioner Polling and Stewart. The most recent response in this chain of emails is signed by Brandy Polling, who holds many facets, including that of spouse of Commissioner Polling, the office manager at Chuck's Sewer and Drain, and as a member of the Grant County Health Department Board. I would like to inquire about which capacity this response from Ms. Polling is from. Is Ms. Polling speaking on behalf of Commissioner Polling? Is Ms. Polling's response as a member of the health board? If so, has the health board been included in this conversation? Is Ms. Polling's response one sent as a representative of the private contractor business, Chuck Sewer and Drain and Plumbing? Regardless of which facet Ms. Polling's response came from, this is an opportunity to explore the potential conflict of interest and blurring separation that has arisen throughout this situation.
But it's not just a conflict of interest. This is an ethical and moral.
This
is a confidentiality issue.
Yeah.
This commissioner has violated the confidence. This means anything that's going on in that health department, that Tara cannot be sure that he has kept that information to himself.
Sure.
This is a huge violation.
Yeah. It appears continuing communication regarding this matter with the commissioners, their legal team, and possibly the Grant County Health Board is warranted to assure full government transparency. Respectfully, Tara Street, Administrator, Grant County Health Department.
And that transparency does not include his wife.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Absolutely.
Now, I just have to throw a wrench in here because I know we're talking, and is this his second wife?
I get the feeling.
Because there is Atlanta polling in my case versus Chuck with lots of domestic violence.
That's interesting.
I don't know if this is the same Chuck or not. It's out of Grant County. I mean, he could have his son with the name, I guess. I don't know. But
a brother or a dad.
Somebody needs to look up Chuck polling in my case and tell me what the story here is.
Yeah, if anybody is watching from Grant County that knows if, number one, if Brandy is his second wife, and number two, if
and it's
Chuck,
Brandy
the
with
current
the
commissioner, Chuck, the current commissioner, and his first wife, if there was a first wife, has had the domestic issues, you can message me that, and I will keep you confidential. But I'm interested. So if you can let me know that would be fantastic.
And it goes on for years.
Yeah.
Like back to 2019 with the latest in 2017.
Well, she said she's only worked at the company for 8 years, Brandy. So,
well, maybe that's why there's no more Lana. I don't know.
4, 23, 21, 20, 19. Yeah, right. Holy shit.
Yeah. So the last one was in 2017. I don't know if somebody can look up a divorce decree or something, but listen, my wheels are over here spinning as you're doing this.
Look. Kate just said they were married in June of 2022.
Well, there you go, my friends. Maybe when you're messing with somebody, it gets a little hot under the collar at home, that guilty, I call it GDS. That is my official code. Like in medicine, we have to give people like, URI for upper respiratory. We have to give, we just have, UTI for urinary tract infection. So usually for the guys, I give them GDS.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's guilty syndrome.
Okay?
Yeah. And then for women, it's GPS, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, it's okay.
Hey, when you're crawling around in the sewer systems of Grant County, in the shit and the mire and the just all of it around, it can get a little steamy in there.
Yep.
And Chuck and Brandy may have been, and
it's smelling just like that cesspool.
Doing the dirty in the dirty.
And I just want everybody to know that Chuck's an elected official. You're welcome to come on the show. We would like you to clarify all this for us.
Maybe I'll ask him on the record tomorrow.
Well, we'll be happy to share with you.
Good shit. All right. So with the last email here, I want you all to listen to this. Listen, I'm going to tell you.
This lady's done amazing.
Let me tell you this.
This lady's done amazing. Because these people should have shut up and quit responding. And they just kept taking the bait and swallowing.
Well, and let me tell you this.
They should have been spitters.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't know. I would not know. Yes, you can. I forget how you say you pronounce your name. Savoie or whatever. Whatever your name is. So whatever your name is, dude or woman. Dude or dudette. Yeah, you can do that. Yes, you can. We talked about that. Amazingly, we talked about that at the beginning of the show. I do want to say this. I don't know Tara. I wouldn't know her if it was a one-person photo lineup in front of me. I have not spoke to her. I don't know her from Adam or Eve, and I have no clue who she is. But these emails are crazy. These are all public record. I've issued record requests through the government, and I got to look. Maybe I even got these from the government. I need to find out exactly where I got these. They might have sent these to me. I don't know if the attorney sent these to me, or I'll have to look, because I've been on the phone and emailing people from Grant County.
I'm telling you right
for a
now,
long time.
This Tara totally
She's a badass.
has a hostile work environment case.
Sure.
An EEOC case. She needs to call Brad Wilson and Shannon Melton. And I can't tell you why I strongly recommend them, because I'm on a Zip It Catherine, but they did phenomenal work for me.
Yeah. Jack, I'm doing that very thing tomorrow. I'm leaving the world famous upstairs basement studio and going to Grant County. So I'll be fun. Okay. But I want to say is, I imagine after this airing, they're going to be even more pissed off at Tara.
Oh, sure.
And if they do something to Tara over this,
oh yeah, they're screwed.
Holy shit,
they are screwed. And here's the thing: I'm going to tell you something. If Tara's over the age of 40, it's a whole different ball game, because she's a protected class. So this will be real interesting to see. Plus, I would like to see what credentials Brandy has versus Tara's.
Uh-oh. Looks like this is wife number 3 we're getting in from producer Kate. And
there you go.
They say third time's a charm.
Yeah, this is real, but you ought to see the domestic
cases.
I'm
on. If I get married again, I'll be on third number 3. Hopefully I can get me a Brandy polling.
If for those people who are watching tonight, if there is one thing you leave this show tonight with, one thing, please, before you pull a ballot and you vote for a candidate, go to My Case and look up each candidate. Please do that.
Yes.
Before you do anything else.
Jack, yes.
So, just so you know.
Live from Grant County, Dirty Wives number 3 on DVD. Coming to you Monday, June 2nd. All right. So let's listen to what this email is, because I think this might be the most based of them all. Tara Street, from Tara Street, Tuesday, May 27th. Oh, God, this is new. 7:52 a.m. Official request. What?
Hot off the press.
Yeah, official request for documentation. Yeah, I think I did get these from the Grant County. Now I recognize this. I think I did get these from Grant County. So they gave these to me. Grant County Commissioner Shane Middlesworth, Ron Stewart, and Chuck Poling, honorable commissioners and their legal counsel, and other pertinent Grant County officials. On February 7th, 2025, an unprovoked volatile verbal incident by Commissioner Chuck Poling took place against me in the Grant County Complex 6th floor hallway at the stairwell entrance and was continued into the doorway of the Human Resources Office. See attached synopsis. And the attached synopsis was what I read to you of that in the email. Commissioner Middlesworth and 4 county employees, along with members of the general public, were present and witnessed this incident. Holy shit. Very soon after, I was assured by some of you that I lost my place, that the matter will be addressed. This was the second like episode in 2 months, the first being December 5th, 2024, and also witnessed by Commissioner Middlesworth and the health department staff. I have patiently waited for more than 90 days, and to date have been provided no communication or assurances that the matter has been addressed, with the exception of 2 brief conversations. Number 1, Dr. Woods confirmed there had been a meeting and stated she was informed she was not to discuss or repeat anything that took place in the meeting. Number 2, I inquired David Glickfield regarding acknowledgement and resolution. Mr. Glickfield informed me that a meeting had taken place, but found my request confusing, stating he wasn't sure what I was asking for or wanted. What in the hell kind of attorney is David Glickfield? I have attempted to locate evidence of a meeting via the commissioner's minutes on the Grant County website with no results. No minutes appear to exist. Did a meeting actually take place? I now feel the intent is to simply sweep these incidents under the rug. While I have no desire to make a public spectacle of this matter, oh, but I do, I will not cower silently and allow it all to just disappear. Section 1.7 of the Grant County Personal Policies Handbook states, it is policy of the Grant County to maintain a productive work environment. Verbal or physical conduct of any supervisor or employee which harasses, disrupts, or interferes with another's work performance, or which creates intimidating, offensive, or hostile work environment will not be tolerated. Does this policy not apply to elected officials against county employees? And sadly, no, it doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't. I mean, it does. It does in law, but it doesn't, like, there's nothing they can really do to them.
Exactly.
They can't fire them or anything, so that sucks. I am not seeking an apology from Commissioner Polling. Yeah, neither. I mean, I just wouldn't want to talk to him. Middlesworth standing idly by and watching your constituent your constituent verbally assault employee. Standing idly by and watching. It wouldn't be a constituent. She's the constituent. I don't know. Watching, I would say like a co-worker or your co-commissioner verbally assault.
Middlesworth is watching Polling.
Yeah.
So he is a constituent. But
well, I mean, yeah, technically, but I don't think that's what she's trying to say here.
Yeah.
Verbally assault an employee is perceived as concurrence. Nor Stewart, as forced apologies have no value. What I am seeking is a transparent acknowledgement and to know the plan for resolution.
There isn't one, Tara, until you get an attorney. Tara needs her own attorney.
Yeah. Absolutely, she does. She does. Tara, if you're out there listening, or when you listen, or if somebody listens, you need to know that.
Because the county attorney is going to work for these people.
Oh, yeah.
They pay their paycheck, people. They don't care anything about Tara or any. Tara needs her own attorney.
Yeah. She goes on to say, please consider this my official request on behalf of myself and the county employees present during the incidents. For written acknowledgement of the incident's occurrence and the documentation confirming you, Grant County leadership, have officially addressed said incidents and what plan has been put in place to ensure no further hostile or aggressive incidents towards myself while working for Grant County government will occur at the hands of Commissioner Polling. Furthermore, Commissioner Polling has made it clear to myself and multiple other individuals, both verbally and in writing, that he does not feel my role in the Grant County Health Department is necessary. He has stated publicly that he will remove me and bring his wife in to run the department, and has, on numerous occasions, questioned my competency as a health department administrator. I have been employed with the health department for more than 35 years under the leadership of 5 health officers with no instance of ineptitude, inadequacy, or disciplinary actions. I have demonstrated my impeccable work history, displaying competence and integrity, which I hope to carry with me into retirement. Therefore, please consider this my official request for written assurance that Commissioner Polling will be afforded no impact on the status of my employment with the Grant County Health Department during his tenure as commissioner. It is my prayer and goal to move past these incidents and to create a positive and trusting work environment with all of our commissioners. Your response to these requests will provide a productive first step to making that happen. Respectfully, Tara Street, administrator and official badass.
Listen, Tara only makes about 50 grand. What she's putting up with should not even be. I don't even know how but now that she's worked there for that many years and has served the people, her heart is about this. I mean, the length of time she's been there. And I'm telling you right now, Tara should be filing with the EEOC that and if I offend people who I'm getting ready to say this, I don't even care.
Yeah,
these white men who are bullying her, one of which who has a severe track history of domestic violence towards women. I mean, I would be filing that. But the thing is that, call Laureen White. If she doesn't want male attorney, call Laureen White. I mean, this is craziness.
Yeah.
What she has put up with. Do you remember a news reporter by the name of Andrea Moorhead?
Oh, yeah.
So she's from
that just happened not too long ago.
She's from Madison County.
Yeah.
She has gone out on her own, and she is now doing her own thing on this type of environment in the workplace.
Yeah.
And so and I'm going to send these to you, and you should read them. And maybe if you speak to Tara, offer her these. This is because this is kind of what she went through. So now she's spending her time as a freelance reporter to help women like Tara. And these were sent to me a couple days ago. But I know people worry all the time that attorneys are expensive, that this could get crazy. I'm telling you right now, people like Brad Wilson and Shannon Melton, they're together. They're two men. They work on contingency a lot of times. So yeah, you do have to put a small amount down, but then that's just kind of a good faith, right? That retainer.
Well, so I'll tell you, most of the time, if it's a federal, if it's a 1983 federal civil rights case, most of your attorneys are going to act on commission. Like if you win, they win. So if you win, they get paid. And you don't so I've been involved in how many? 3 federal civil rights cases. It's insane. Generally what happens is, like in my cases, I've had to pay, you're talking maybe about $1,500. You got to pay for your filing and maybe like the incidentals, like your attorney's gas money.
But you get it back.
But yeah. If you win, you get it. You get it back plenty of time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and the whole thing
35 years, Kate. Yeah.
The bullying and the intimidation, but more importantly, Tara, love yourself and your own respect that this man is trying to drag you through the mud after you have worked 35 years and you've grown up at the health department. That alone, the defamation of character and what he wants to portray, that might work for your wives, how you scream and yell at him. Maybe even you grab him by the hair and you drag him through the sewer. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now that this man would never want to cross my path. I mean, if Tara were my daughter, I might just make myself just happy and fancy at one of those commissioner meetings.
Yeah.
But the fact that she is speaking on behalf of Chuck's wife is, this has gone to a whole new level. And here's the other thing. If I were Tara, the other reason why you want an attorney is because I have a feeling Chuck is a dirty deleter. And he's going to kind of try to be like Hillary Clinton. Sorry if you guys are Hillary Clinton fans. But suddenly he's going to try to delete all his personal emails. Now that they've
got him now.
now that they've pulled in his personal emails, I'd be real interested to see what else he's talking about.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, this guy clearly is not keeping things confidential. And the other thing is did they have an executive meeting or did they have a meeting with commissioners?
I don't know.
Didn't post that publicly?
Yeah, that's very weird. Very, very strange. Very strange what happened there. I'll be looking into that. And I think almost now I'll say now that they've intertwined his private email account, I think we can request a lot of that shit.
Right.
Because that's that. Now, I do want to read these 2 emails real quick. These are pretty quick. These have nothing to do with Tara, but it just shows kind of the mentality of what happens with this dude. So this relates to what's occurred at the meeting with Megan Glickfield, the court reporter, who when she was standing up and talking and Chuck Poling was going at her because she had sent a couple of emails.
David, you know what, David? Why don't you take yourself to the commissioners meeting and get yourself up there at the podium, start running your mouth, and if they start going off on you, I will agree with your statement. Until then, zip it.
No, more importantly, Why did you not stop and get that $40 today, David?
Yeah, David.
I got $40 for you. Under a dinosaur. You need to go get that under the dinosaur. Nobody else knows what that means, but you do. Okay, let me read this to you. So this is an email that I don't know. I kind of sang that when I said under a dinosaur. That sounded really good. Let me see what this shit is here. So this is an email that another person sent me here. Interestingly, who sent? Wait a minute. Oh, right here we go. Who sent this? So it doesn't tell me who sent it. That's weird. Oh, it was just sent. Oh, when did you get it? They said it was still there. I don't know. Maybe they don't know what they're talking about. I'll talk to him tomorrow. Well, I'm glad you got it. Okay, so anyways.
No, David, you take yourself and you go kiss them.
Kiss it. I was like, what are we talking about? Kiss Catherine. Kiss it, Catherine. Okay, so the commissioners sent this email to Megan Glickfield, and Megan Glickfield was the dark-haired girl at the podium who started all this as far as what I'm involved with. And they say to her, and this is the commissioners together. They say, "Dear Megan, we hope this message finds you well. We want to acknowledge that upon receiving your email, we promptly tasked our administrative director with preparing a response to address the concerns you raised." So what they're doing is they're gaslighting and they're lying here. They're saying that when she sent her emails to them before she went to the meeting, they told their administrative director, which you know who that is? It's Justin Seoff, or whatever his weird ass name is.
I guess it's better than Justin Jackoff.
You didn't? You mean you didn't? You went in there and you didn't go you didn't go and find it under the dinosaur? I'll get it to you tomorrow. You freak. Okay. People think we're talking about drug deals and stuff. It's far less innocuous than that. Okay, so here we go. So they say they're lying about this. This is really crazy. Unfortunately, following our meeting on Monday, where the fight happened, the administrative director informed us that he had not sent the letter. We understand the importance of timely communication, and we are actively addressing this matter with Mr. Seoff to ensure accountability and prevent future lapses. So they're blaming it on him, okay? Additionally, please note that our cleaning contractor operates directly under the oversight of the administrative director. So they're also blaming the cleanliness of the building on this dude. Okay?
I got something to say.
Yeah.
As you're reading this.
Yeah.
Megan, if you are watching this show tonight, what this email is truly saying is you are right.
Yes, about everything.
So just so you know, I'm glad they're blaming their administrative assistant.
Yeah,
I am. Because if I was their administrative assistant, guess what? I'd be looking all kinds of stuff now. Because if you think you're going to throw me under the bus and make me look like an idiot, you know what? Here you go. So
stand tight.
These people are morons to throw under the bus their right and left hand person.
Yeah. Stand tight because it gets crazy from here. Additionally, note that the cleaning contractor, it's his fault too. We recognize this connection may have contributed to the issues at hand. We sincerely apologize for what has transpired and for any inconvenience this may have caused. We are committed to working with you to resolve these matters and to strengthen our collaboration moving forward. Thank you for your understanding. We look forward to working together with department heads and elected officials to find effective solutions. At the end of the day, the Board of Commissioners takes full responsibility. Well, it didn't sound like you did. Respectfully, Grant County Board of commissioners. Now, I want to know who signed this, who wrote this.
You know what I want to give? I want to give some advice.
Yep.
Chuck Polling, I know you're watching tonight. Here's some advice. I found your wife a job. It's to take this guy's job right here because clearly you guys just said this guy is incompetent to do his job.
Well,
so you can put Brandy in this role.
You keep stand by because you're almost jumping the punchline here. So first and foremost, I want to say what these idiots that wrote this, because let me tell you, they also attached an email here that allegedly he had written before the meeting, but it just didn't get sent. Well, unbeknownst to them, there's a bunch of people that are aware that prior to the meeting, they had talked to that administrator, and that administrator had said, no, they had not told him to do anything. So this did not exist before the meeting Monday. So they made this sometime after Monday's meeting where he went off on Megan.
So this is Justin Satoff?
Yep. Now stand by.
Now he's the administrative assistant and HR director.
HR. Yep.
But they also have an April Isles who's an administrative assistant.
Yep. Well, all right. So now wait here. So this is what happens. So here's the deal. All this bullshit they're saying means nothing. They didn't apologize to her for the way that Chuck treated her, which is what the apology should have been. Had nothing to do with Justin, had nothing to do with the cleanliness of the building. She should have got an apology for how she was treated in that meeting, and they didn't mention anything about that shit. On Friday, they fired Justin Satoff. They fired him Friday. So this is like crazy.
I wonder how long he worked for them.
I don't know, but a while. And listen, I'm telling you this. If you're out there, Justin, I know we're probably butchering your name or whatever. Satoff, it's kind of a cool name. Contact me privately. You've not heard me mention anyone else's names that sent me any of this. No one will know if you contact me or not. Contact me because I would love to talk to you. I would love to hear what you got to say. I would love to hear all of the dirt. Please contact me. We can keep you secret, and I would like to know your shit. I'm also going to tell everybody else that's an employee there, and it's going to start getting real spooky around the government up there in Grant County. If you have any damning emails in your work email that you've sent to them or they've sent to you or other people have sent you, when you go in tomorrow morning at work, or if you have access to it now, whenever you do, start sending those emails to your private email, to your outside email. Because
no, don't do that. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Let me tell you why. Because they can track that.
That's fine.
What I would tell you to do is to pull that up on your screen and start taking pictures of it with your phone if you don't want anybody to track your email.
That's kind of but that's a crappy way to do it.
I know it is.
You can't see it. I would just say this because there's nothing illegal with it. There's nothing.
No,
public
there's
record.
nothing illegal. It's just that you'll know that Big Brother's watching.
Yeah. But
if you do that,
that's all great stuff. I'm just saying. Here's the deal. I guarantee you, Justin has a bunch of shit that it's all gone.
There's a lot of people that have a lot.
It's all gone. But what Justin had is all gone. Unless he did that, it's all gone. Because now he no longer has access to that. Right. And they do, and maybe they kept it, maybe they didn't. Who knows? You know what I mean? They'll be like, we can't get in.
Brad Wilson and Shannon Melting, I'll tell you that.
What?
He needs to contact those attorneys.
Yeah, or any attorneys. That's what Catherine was saying. Screenshot and send the emails. I just don't like the only way that's good is if you can actually get it on your phone to where you can make a clear screenshot. Then that would work. But if you're taking a picture of your computer that kind of is.
A lot of times if you just hit the print button, but you don't go all the way through the
Yeah.
print, it will pull it up and then it'll make it nice and cropped.
You could do
like
that.
You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, again, and
You
Brad
can
and
even print them off.
Yeah, Brad and Shannon are only employment. That's all they do is employment. They used to have a big place downtown. They decided to split because they could do it better than being with a big firm, and they do phenomenal work.
Yeah. Yeah. And let me tell you, we are just scratching the surface. There is a lot of other crap here. There are meetings, like I said, that I've got to go through and see what the deal is.
You have to go to this meeting tomorrow.
Oh yeah. I'm going. I'll be there. It's going to be fantastic.
You got to start the recording like as soon as you walk in the room, because just to see their face when you walk in there,
yeah,
I just want that moment captured.
Yeah. Well, there's one meeting out there where they have edited but the original, I have they've cut and I have the original and they don't know that I have it. And it ought to be interesting. So that's there, a bunch of craziness. We're going to follow this, keep following this, and keep seeing what's going on. Now, I do have to just really quickly, before we get too crazy and before we leave out of here, I do just quickly want to go over again. Tomorrow morning, for those people that are interested or that want to know, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m., Delaware County Commissioners meeting. They've not put up their agenda yet. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. We're going to have to get at them about that. Randolph County Commissioners meeting at 9. Delaware and Randolph at 9. 10 a.m. Grant County. 6
you gotta
p.m.
skip Delaware's tomorrow or send somebody else.
Yeah,
to Delaware.
I'm not going. I don't ever go to Delaware's. I'm going to Grant County. I am going to Grant County. 6 p.m. is Winchester. What time is Alexandria?
I think it's 5. You know, they do theirs weird. They do like a 5 o'clock meeting, and then if nothing's going on, then they start rolling it right into the next one. So
no, the 5 o'clock is, so that's the Board of Works meeting.
Yeah, and then they're like, oh, if they're not, so I think it's at 5:30.
Okay, 5:30 or 6. That's Alexandria. No,
I'm pretty.
6 o'clock is Winchester. 6:30 is Newcastle. 7 p.m. is Muncie. As far as Muncie goes, let me see here. At 6:45, there will be a public hearing. They're going to vacate a portion of unimproved public street. Ordinance amending chapters 159 of the floodplain. This is ordinance previously introduced. Ordinance 18, ordinance of the City of Muncie amending chapter 92 and chapter 95 of the City of Muncie Code of Ordinances due to the anticipated opening of a skate park. New ordinances, ordinance 1925, an ordinance to vacate portion of the certain unimproved public roadway. Ordinance 2025, an ordinance amending chapters 95 and section 95.9 of the City of Muncie Code of Ordinances entitled Parks and Recreation. Ordinances 2125, an ordinance of the City of Muncie amending parking regulations near the Village, Ball State University. Resolution. Okay, Resolution 1225, resolution authorizing Ridenhour to apply for the Community Development Block Grant and Home Investment Partnership Program grant funds from United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. Resolution 1325, a declaratory resolution of the Common Council of the City of Muncie, Indiana, declaring an economic revitalization area and waiver of certain requirements for the Muncie Hotel Partners, LLC, and then other business. So that's that. That's it. That's that. And that's all she wrote. You got anything else?
No, I just appreciate you letting me interrupt you all night tonight.
It was pretty horrible, but we got through it. This show could have easily been an hour and 45 minutes had Catherine not popped up in the duck tonight. But it was fun. We had fun. I hope the people from Grant County liked it.
I think Charles Poling is going to be one of my admirers soon.
Oh, dude, I cannot wait to go see him tomorrow. I said it's going to be fun.
Very interesting.
Well, okay, we'll see what goes on. We'll have you back on. We'll do some Madison County and stuff. I know the Madison County people want to know what's going on, and there's some things going on. So
yeah,
we'll have you back in to talk about that. We're going to talk about red flags and something.
Yes, at some point. Jack off, you're only one. Alva kind of loves me. Stumblefoot likes me too. David Williams is on the fence. He can't decide if he loves me or hates me.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't it be cool if, yeah, right. That would be cool.
We want to be infectious.
Hold on here.
Oh, look, Danny's nice tonight too.
What, Mecca 2? What's
me
that?
Me too is what he meant.
Oh.
I knew what you meant, Danny.
Well, yeah, right.
Kiff likes me.
What?
Kiff likes me.
Oh, yeah, that dude's a weirdo.
Jack off, look at that. She lived through 2 nukes.
Well, yeah.
You guys just love I have a good sense of humor.
Well, or they're just really racist. It's either one of the two things. I don't really know.
Oh, mercy. Danny grew up in Alexandria.
What?
Danny grew up in Alexandria. He needs to go to some of those meetings.
Yes. Well, so
I love y'all.
Yeah, we'll have her back on at some point, and she helps my grandmother go to sleep.
It's because I balance you.
I was going to say it's more like, that I forget what it's called, what the actual instrument's called in the Indian Eastern music that goes wow, wow, wow. It's just like the drone on.
You know what? Everybody's a comedian tonight.
All right, folks. You guys have a good evening. Have a great rest of your Sunday. It's almost over. Back to the work week tomorrow we go. Be here tomorrow at 9 p.m.
Smoke it if you got it, Jack.
Cover stuff. Oh, absolutely. We will cover the shit that's going on during the day. Tune in at various points. We'll have stuff going on. Follow us. Hey, if you want to know what's going on before the show, you want to follow us on like the Facebooks and the Twitters and all that stuff, because I'm sure we'll put stuff in throughout the day. So just be watching. And then, of course, be back here tomorrow at 9 p.m. and we'll keep you posted. All right, you guys take care. God bless. Have a good evening. We will talk to you again real soon. Goodbye.
I'm back in the New York groove.